Hey guys, Pastor P here. Hope you're doing well today. Hope that life is treating you kind. It's been kind of a stormy day here in Southern California. It kind of like snuck up on us. Like all of a sudden the wind began to blow. I mean, it was so hot out. It was, I think when we came through the gate, it was like 103 degrees today, something like that. And then next thing you know, the wind started blowing in, this really hot wind. And before you know it, the sky just opened up and it literally stormed. And we were looking at some of the videos that different neighbors had posted, and just their whole yards had just shifted, just stuff blowing everywhere and flooding and all kinds of things. So prayerfully and hopefully everyone's doing okay today. And because you never know. You never know when a storm is going to strike. So you got to always be ready. Tonight we shift over into, we've been talking about praying boldly. We've learned the power of moving toward possessing in our mind, our emotions, our soul, our feelings, our spirit, our words, moving toward possessing, because that's what prayer means, to move toward possessing that which you're speaking out for, that which you hope to receive and you're asking for. And tonight this week, we're going to begin to talk about the body, okay? Because prayer is a full body experience. And I share that with you because in 1 Corinthians 12, it's a really good analogy. Because Paul uses in his letter to the church of Corinth, he uses this analogy of trying to describe the body of Christ. And he uses the body, the human body, as an example. But the more I read it, I've read it over and over, and I keep, especially in relationship to prayer. And it says that in 1 Corinthians 12:25, the way that God designed our bodies is a model for understanding our lives together. Our lives together as a church, our lives together as a community, our lives together as a family, our lives together as a nation. It says every part is dependent on every other part. Every part of my body is dependent on every other part. The parts we mention and the parts we don't. The parts we see and the parts we don't. If one part hurts, it says every other part is involved in the hurt. If one part hurts, every other part is involved in the hurt and in the healing. If one part flourishes, every other part enters into the exuberance. So what he's basically saying is when one part hurts, the rest hurts. Okay, so let's just take, for example, say if something's sore on you, or you broke a bone, or you sprained an ankle, or something's going on with your eyes, your ears, your neck, anything going on with you, and the doctors diagnose something, every bit of your thought life goes to that place. Okay, right? You can't stop thinking about it. When there's a diagnosis that comes and you feel like there's nothing you can do, that it's been taken out of your hands, there's nothing that you can do. And you begin to worry, and you begin to doubt, and you begin to fear, and you begin to make other plans, and you begin to step out of your purpose, and you begin to step out of the joy of life, and you begin to take on the burdens, you begin to take on the lack of hope, you began to take on lack of joy, you began to grieve before anything is even transpired. And so I share this with you tonight because that when you pray, involve your whole body, not just the part that is hurt. Or whenever, say it's your finances that are hurting, you begin to just dwell on that, and it becomes all consuming, or it's some family related thing, it just becomes all consuming, and then everything else goes by the wayside. It's about finding that balance of all things, okay? Because a lot of times when something happens to your body or something happens to, I don't know, your finances, your job, your relationship, your whatever, you start firing off. And next thing you know, your mouth is going off in some other direction other than prayer. And so my encouragement to you tonight is when something happens, or if something's going on right now, begin to take every thought captive, capture your words, begin to fill your heart, because you're going to need an overflow of joy and hope to get through this thing, whatever this thing is, and peace, whatever it is that you're going through. Begin to fill your heart with that. Begin to meditate on those things, so that then you're beginning to, your mouth is going to speak strategies, and your mouth is going to speak possibilities, and your mouth is going to speak hope. Okay? And where the rest of the body comes in, begin to speak those things over your body. And you might be saying, oh, dang, Pastor P, that's kind of wackadoo. But it's not. Begin to speak strength. Begin to speak power. Begin to speak, getting organized, order over some things. Begin to speak possibilities. And begin to open your eyes to see, and your ears to hear, and your heart to receive that God is working in this area. God, show me how you working in this area. Okay? And you can begin to see things change. You can begin to see things, hope come alive, and joy get stirred back up. But I just wanted to share that part with you, because that's our reality. When one part hurts, the rest of us hurts. But as excitement happens, as healing comes, as the body begins to flourish, as that passage said, celebrate all of it. Celebrate all of it. Okay, know tonight that what's going on with you matters. And know tonight that we're praying for you. We're praying that God meets you at the point of your greatest need, in the fullness of all that you are, all that you were created to be and to do. We love you. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening, and especially as you just jump headfirst into this week. Have a great week, and we'll see you again tomorrow night. We love you. Good night.